There comes a point in your preparation where you have to stop asking what else is needed, as if what God has already placed in you is not enough. Many of us have prayed, we've studied, we've healed, we have learned discipline and survived seasons that many people would not have been able to survive. Yet, even after all of that, we are still standing at the doorway asking, is it enough? Still standing at the doorway asking God, am I ready? We keep believing that we need one more degree, one more opportunity, just another connection to make it. We need another person to approve us, or just one sign to show us that we belong in the room. There's nothing wrong with developing yourself. The problem becomes when we stop complimenting what God has already placed inside of you. You start compensating for what you believe you still lack. Preparation says, I'm developing what God has placed within me. That insecurity is saying, I'm still missing something. I need more. Something's missing. It's just not enough. By the time Esther reached this moment, she had already completed 12 months of preparation. The question was no longer what else can be added to Esther. The question was, will Esther trust what has already been developed within her? Then this is how Esther went to the king. She was given whatever she requested to take with her from the harem of the king's palace. Esther 2 and 13. Each woman could choose whatever they believed they needed. Any pieces of jewelry, any articles of clothing, whatever they thought that would make them more attractive to the king, more memorable to the king. They wanted to be impressive to the king. So Esther could request these things: clothing, jewelry, perfume, and accessories. They were all trying to maximize what may have been their only opportunity before the king. But verse 15 gives us the contrast. When the turn came for Esther to go to the king, she requested nothing except what Hegai, who was in charge of the harem, suggested. And Esther won the favor of everyone who saw her. Esther 2 and 15. Everyone else seems to have been asking, what else can I add? What else do I need? But Esther's posture was different. She was asking, what do I actually need? Hegai understood the assignment. He knew the palace. He was one of the ones who had observed the king, and he knew what was appropriate and what would be necessary. Esther trusted informed wisdom instead of relying only on her own instincts. Spiritually, this teaches us to listen to God. God knows the room He is taking you into. He knows what the assignment will require, what will serve you, and what will distract you. He knows what you need to carry and what you need to leave behind. We often tell God, I think I need the title. I think I need the relationship. I need another degree. I want that platform, that amount of money, or their approval. And sometimes God is saying, no, you do not. You may desire it. You may admire it. You may even see someone else carrying it. But you do not need it to fulfill what God has assigned to you. Esther had already completed the preparation process. The extra clothing, the extra jewelry were not what prepared her. They could complement the process, but they could not create the woman. God does His deepest work where people cannot see it. And He prepares your character, your judgment, your discipline, your identity, and ability to carry responsibility. The visible opportunity does not create the prepared woman. The visible opportunity it reveals her. So my question to you today is, what are you still trying to add where you feel like you're still just not good enough? Perhaps you believe you need another degree or a larger following before your voice matters, a relationship before your life is complete, or everyone's approval before you obey God. And the issue is not the degree, it's not the title, it's not the achievement. The issue is what you are asking the thing to do for you. Are you asking it to complement God's preparation, or are you asking it to convince you that you're finally enough? No title can settle an identity issue. No relationship can heal a lack of self-worth, and no number of followers can permanently silence insecurity. And comparison can cause you to reach for things that God never called you to carry. It will make you believe you need another woman's personality, her strategy, path, or her armor. David could not fight Goliath in Saul's armor. The armor was not bad. It simply did not match David's preparation. David won with what God had already trained him to use in private. You do not need someone else's armor. Use what God has already developed in you. Preparation can become a form of procrastination. We say, I'm still learning, researching, healing, or waiting for another confirmation. But sometimes God has already confirmed the assignment and developed the gift. There comes a moment when continuing to prepare is no longer faithfulness. It is fear. Fear of being seen, fear of making a mistake, or fear of finding out whether we can really do what God called us to do. Esther 2:15 says, when the turn came for Esther, her preparation then had to meet the opportunity, and she could not remain in the harem asking for another 6 months. Her turn had come, and she had to move. Preparation had already done its work. Esther now just has to trust it. So I want to encourage you today to stop striving and walk forward. First, recognize where preparation has already taken place. You are not the same woman you were when the process first began. You have learned, you've grown, you've matured, survived, and gained discernment. Preparation does not mean perfection. God can call you ready for an assignment while He continues forming you as a person. Second, release what God never required you to carry. Comparison, the need to impress, other people's expectations, borrowed strategies, unassigned relationships, and the belief that you must prove yourself. Third, trust what God has developed in you. Trust that the prayers, the waiting, correction, hidden work, and closed doors produced something. Preparation often remains invisible until pressure reveals it. Finally, when your turn comes, walk forward as the woman God has formed. Do not shrink, do not perform, don't overcompensate or apologize for being in the room. Carry what God instructed you to carry and leave behind what He never assigned. So, in conclusion, we know that Esther was not chosen because she carried the most into the palace. She entered carrying very little outwardly, but she carried wisdom, character, restraint, discernment, favor, and the results of a completed preparation process. Esther was not chosen merely because of what she carried. She was chosen because of who she had become. Because you are the purposeful woman.